Welcome into the live stream here for McCready and Siskey here on this Monday afternoon. It's March the 18th. Hope everybody had a great St. Patrick's Day weekend.
What it is?
I'm Neil. That's Tyler.
How we doing?
I'm good. I'm pretty good.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Somebody's been messing with the modules over here. Got it. Man,
Okay. I think you were the last person to sit there.
it's my fault.
Could be.
It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. It was the whole week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I lose track.
Me too. I did not. I managed to go the entire spring break without having an alcoholic beverage.
Ooh, I can't say the same.
You win. You win.
I'm trying to think which days of spring break did I not have an alcoholic beverage.
I actually went.
I don't think I had one Wednesday.
I was in Biloxi for 3 days. Yeah.
Oh, Thursday.
I was there.
Maybe I didn't have one Thursday.
I was in Biloxi for 3 days. Did not play the first hand of blackjack, gamble at all, or have an alcoholic beverage.
Wow.
Look at me.
Were you trying
I'm matured, Mom.
Were you trying to atone for something?
No. I don't know.
Yesterday at one point I was like, you know what? I don't need to drink today and then like 5:30 rolled around and I was like, you know, a beer does sound good.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're grilling and
Yeah, I probably would have enjoyed a beverage or two, but yeah, just didn't. It was a weird feeling, man. It was like it was me and the wife and the 8-year-old. So it was a weird trip. I didn't have my older two with me.
yeah. We've got soccer again this weekend coming up. After this tournament, though, there's only one more tournament the rest of the year, and that's it.
Looking for some red cards, Carson?
Well, you know, in his defense, all he did was ask a question.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you can't ask the official a question,
What are we doing?
what are we doing, right? I mean, he didn't say he was blind.
It just depends on what time those next games are, as if we need a red card or not.
He's got his first game at 9:30 and not another game till 4. So
Ooh, red card 9:30.
You know,
Let's do it at like the 87th minute.
what if I yell at the referee in the 87th minute and ask him if he's, and then when he looks to see who asked, I'll be like, number 9
Is that guy
he did it
right here, right here? Telling your own kid. That'd be good. That'd be good.
All right.
Let's crank her up.
Yeah, before we get him in trouble.
Yeah.
He's
Be
not
pissed.
He's not gonna be happy. Quit talking about it.
Yeah, he'll be pissed. Be all right.
Yeah, he's okay.
Let's get some rain.
Welcome into episode 159 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neil McCready. That is Tyler Siskey here on this Monday afternoon, March the 18th. Hope everybody had a great St. Patrick's Day weekend. I did. Had a good St. Patrick's Day weekend. I always enjoy, as I was telling Tyler, I always enjoy covering the SEC tournament, even though it's proving to be meaningless. I enjoy it. I always have. And so I went to the arena on Wednesday, did some, chase Chris Beard around. Ole Miss had released earlier in the day that he'd signed a new deal, so I was getting that. And then on Thursday, I actually went, because we have great seats, right there, courtside basically. And I went to the Mississippi State LSU game, watched it in its entirety, watched almost all of the South Carolina-Arkansas game, and then
Did you call the Hogs?
I did, called the Hogs a few times.
Okay.
Especially in the first half, and we had it rolling early. I was like, ooh, yeah, on press row. And then got myself organized and covered Ole Miss and Texas A&M.
Let's go.
Went back to the hotel and wrote for a little while, watched the Thunder and the Mavericks, and it was good. It's good. It was a very basketball full day on Thursday, but it was fun. I even thought at one point, Friday was my anniversary, so I didn't. But had it not been my anniversary, I think I would have stayed an extra day and just watched games.
Yeah, no, that's a good venue.
The Friday quarterfinal day is the best day of the tournament.
I've said this before, but I was literally sitting in that arena when COVID hit with my family Wednesday night when they.
That was scary. Did you make it?
I did. You know, it was hard. It was touch and go there for a minute.
Yeah.
You really do think about it though, like back then, how weird and crazy it was. That first, like, I remember sitting because that's the Wednesday night. Tickets are hella cheap, and it's all general admission.
So this is 2020.
Yeah, this is 2020.
Yeah.
And you can sit. You get there early. You sit where you want to. So we got, we were sitting like half court or whatever, and was it Rudy Gobert and somebody they were. This whole thing was going on, and I was at the game watching on social media.
So
and
Ole Miss was playing Georgia.
Yep.
And at the same time, the Thunder and the Utah Jazz were getting ready to get started in Oklahoma City. And so I had driven on Tuesday 3/4 of the way to Nashville because on Wednesday night, the locker room would be open after the game. And if you want to do an end-of-year story, and me being kind of old-school journalist, I always think if you're going to be there for the beginning and you're going to be there for the middle, you probably should be there for the end. And I was going to go, and I'd been told, yep, locker rooms are open, locker rooms are open, locker rooms are open. And then I got a call from one of the Ole Miss SID guys who was like, hey, I think it was Adam Kuffner, who's now the SID at Purdue. Adam was like, hey, they're closing locker rooms. And I said, completely? And he goes, yeah. And I pulled over someplace about 45 minutes, 50 minutes this side of Nashville. And I sat at a convenience store parking lot for about 15 minutes. I filled up, even though I really didn't need to fill up. I was 2/3 full on my vehicle. I was filled up, sat there for a minute, and I said, what am I doing? And I went home.
You turned around, came home?
I did. Turned around, drove home. And I was glad I did because the next day I was watching.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching Ole Miss Georgia on one screen, and I had the Thunder and the Jazz up on the other. In the Thunder game, the players took the court, and then that dude came running out. One of the Thunder medical people came running out, went to the thing, and they sent the players to the benches. And you're like, whoa, what is this?
It was wild, man.
What is this? And then it's so funny to remember this, to think about this story now, because at the time you're like, what's going on? Like, is this the end of the world? I mean, what is happening? And then you realize this game's not getting played. And then Ole Miss loses to Georgia, and they played a second game. Whoever it was Arkansas and somebody played a second game, if I recall correctly.
Vanderbilt, I think.
That sounds right. And then the next morning, I think I can tell you now, Andy Kennedy was working for the SEC Network at the time. He was in his between jobs status. Yeah. And in fact, he was getting ready to get the UAB job, and I think he sort of knew it, but he was playing out the string. And I can't remember if I called him or he called me, but it wasn't odd for us to talk, obviously. And he said, hey, they're getting ready to cancel this thing. And I said, I was at the gym. And he goes, they're going to cancel this thing. That's the rumor. I mean, it's getting canceled. I'm about to head home. I said, what do you mean canceled? He goes, they're canceling the whole tournament. I said, media access? He goes, no. They're canceling the tournament. And sure enough, within the hour, everything shut down. The NCAA tournament gets canceled. Yeah. Everything. You think back on that, man, that was like totally unnecessary. None of those things had to happen.
We had an Airbnb, I think, through Saturday. Like, I don't think we were going to the Saturday games. I had tickets for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the sessions. And I had something I was supposed to be doing the next week professionally.
Yes, I remember.
That was supposed to start on Monday.
This show would not be happening.
It would not be happening right now. So a lot changed there in about the course of about 3 days.
And that, without getting into any details, may have been a stroke of good fortune.
No, it was. What's the saying? God's greatest gift is unanswered prayers.
Yeah.
That would have been all she wrote for your boy.
Because
that'd have been all she wrote for your boy. I'd be coaching holders out at Water Valley.
Yeah, you were jumping onto a ship that was sinking and you didn't know it.
I didn't even know it. It wasn't just sinking; it was being shot, torpedoed. It was a lot of shit going on.
That was the Titanic.
Yeah, it sure was. Woo! Get you some of that.
We've been hit.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by Emirate Real Estate. All right. Tell me about rain, Neil, before we get going too much.
We're brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. So check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Neil, the only reason that reminded me of that is I'm almost damn done with my Rain. I've been crushing it over here. I've been waiting. I have been. I'm on the Valencia Orange today.
Okay.
Just delicious. Got me through my travels.
Rainstorm. Yep.
Yeah, got me through the travels. Got a lot of the Rainstorm getting very popular.
I know.
Getting very popular.
It's flying off the shelves.
Flying off the shelves. And the new flavors, the citrus zest and the strawberry guava. Very good.
Citrus zest is excellent.
It's really good.
Yep.
Neil, the Cooper Chevrolet chat is already bumping.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if you could tell.
I did.
But just to remind you guys, you can save thousands when you finance with Cooper Chevrolet. Get super low 1.9% APR along with extended warranty and great benefits on select Car Bravo certified vehicles. Make sure you call the guys at Cooper Chevrolet at 256-236-4481. That is 256-236-4481 and get you some of that low APR. You can get any vehicle you want. Give those guys a call and tell them that McCready and Siskey sent you. All right, Neil. While we were gone, we picked a hell of a week to go. It seemed like the entire NFL changed teams while we were gone.
There was
last week.
a lot of player movement.
A lot of movement.
Yep.
So first of all, we're going to start with this. We'll talk a little bit of NFL. Then we're going to get to the bracket because I'm criteria club like to the max. I got college basketball on the brain, and so I'm going to get through this as fast. I know you guys love football. I love football. There's no other human being that loves football more than me.
Yeah, but this is basketball week.
I'm ate up with it, man. I got a problem.
This is the week that college basketball owns the landscape.
Like I got a problem.
Even the NFL's like, hey, we're gonna let you have this week.
Yeah, you got it, guys. But while we're gone, the NFL, like holy shit. So let's start with the quarterback shuffle that took place. First of all, with trades. So Justin Fields gets traded from the Bears to the Steelers for a 6th round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you sit here, and this goes back, we do this every year, and it really does blow my mind, is why in the hell would you ever waste a draft pick? I mean, these guys Justin Fields is a quality, I'd say he's a quality NFL quarterback. He's terrible, but he's one of the 32 best guys on the planet.
Maybe
6th round though. Like think of all these dudes that are getting drafted in the 6th round here in a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3/4 of them won't even be on the roster, and that's what you get for Justin Fields. Whew. Like he
wasn't good. Now, if in the event that he takes 51% of the snaps, it becomes a 4th round pick.
Cool.
Yeah,
but so
what it shows you is this:
that Russell Wilson's going to be the starting quarterback. It
also shows you that the Bears. The people that drafted Fields aren't there anymore. And it shows you that the people that are in that building just don't believe he's a playoff quarterback. And he doesn't look like one. I've watched their games. Carson still cheers for the Bears. He's not good.
Agree. It's just, it blows.
Then all you get is a 6.
Yeah. It's just, he was a 1st round pick 2 years ago.
They gave up an extra 1st round pick to get him. Yeah. It just failed. Again, I come back to the same thing in this league. And you see it when we start talking about the draft. The draft is the single most important night of the year in that league because it's when you either make or break your roster, and some people break their rosters in the draft. If you don't draft well, it's really, really hard to win in the NFL.
I guess the Bears just got to figure out if they're going to take Caleb Williams or Drake May, I guess. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to take the first pick, probably the first 3 picks. Now that you look at we go through the quarterback shuffle, the first 3 picks will probably go to quarterbacks now.
Yeah.
And that's with the Bears, the Patriots got 3rd pick. 2nd pick is the Cisco. Who's got 2nd pick? I'm like freaking straight brain farting. I've been looking at it for 3 days too.
NFL draft
it's
order 2024. I got it right here.
I'm gonna kick myself in the face.
It is the. Is that right?
Starts to say Commanders, but it's not.
Bears have the first pick, right?
Yes. Bears got the first pick. Patriots got 3rd pick.
Hold on. Just hold tight.
What's wrong with me? It's embarrassing.
NFL draft order 2024. That was trying to throw me.
Yeah, Commanders.
All right. So what you got is Bears,
Yeah,
Commanders,
Commanders. All right. So the first three are going to be quarterbacks.
and then Patriots are pick 3.
Yeah.
And then it's Arizona, Minnesota, the Giants, Titans, Falcons, Bears pick again at 9, and the Jets pick at 10.
Yeah. So that pretty much guarantees the top 3 picks are going to be quarterbacks. So, because with that, Mac Jones gets traded to the Jaguars, his hometown.
My point is that the decisions that get made here in the next 6 weeks, they shape franchises. I mean, if you're the Bears, if you get it right, the Justin Fields thing becomes an afterthought.
Yeah.
You Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. CBS has them in that order, going 1, 2, and 3 in their latest mock draft.
Who they have 3? Jaden Daniels?
No, they have May going 3rd. They have the Commanders taking Daniels. Regardless, my point is, if you're the Bears, you can pick any of the 3 that you want. And so you got to get it right. If you take Williams and he ends up being average and May or Daniels becomes a superstar, then you'll never live it down. If you don't believe in Williams and you roll the dice and you take Drake May and he ends up just being average and Caleb Williams ends up being a superstar who takes the Commanders to titles, you never live it down. It's the biggest decision you have. It's when you pick, and if you're picking second, you're Washington and you think, hey, they're going to take Caleb Williams, you got to know everything you can know about Jaden Daniels, about Drake May, because you got to get it right. Because if you don't get quarterback right in that league, you just don't win.
Yeah, and that's basically what with the trades that happened. All 4 of these guys were starting quarterbacks that got moved. Okay, so Mac Jones goes to Jaguars. He's going from being a starter in New England. Obviously, he's going to be a backup in Jacksonville. That is his hometown though. So Sam Howell goes from the Commanders to the Seahawks. He'll be backing up Geno Smith, and then Desmond Ridder, who should have been starting from the jump, but he goes from a starter in Atlanta to a backup in Arizona. All right, now with the trades that happened, now we had free agency hit, and then Kirk Cousins. This has been hit. There's been a lot of talk on this one. I actually am going against the grain on this one. I think this was great for the Falcons. Kirk Cousins goes to the Falcons. Everybody's like, oh, the contract, yada yada yada, contract schmontract. You got to have a quarterback. That's literally what they were missing. The Falcons are fine everywhere else. They're fine everywhere else. They needed a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And you never got to see the offensive line. You never got to, defense was good the whole year, but you never got to see what that offense could be. I mean, you already got Bijan Robinson back there. You probably got one of the top 3 or 4 running backs in the league anyway back there. I mean, Kirk Cousins, I think, is going to be a steady hand. I think this is exactly what they need. I like Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. I like the fit. A lot of people hated the trade, thought it was terrible. I liked it.
He's got a lot of weapons.
Everybody's like, well, he's coming off an Achilles. Okay, he'll be fine. I mean, it's not like he was a runner anyway. I like him. Jacoby Brissett goes to the Patriots. Is going to be probably is a 1-year deal. He'll be mentoring whoever the draft pick is there. Baker Mayfield, like we said on the show, which was probably going to happen after they secured what's my guy receiver.
I can't think right now.
Yeah, my brain is like cooked.
That's okay. I just had surge of pain go through my legs, so I can't even think straight right now.
But Baker's staying with the Bucks, and then Russell Wilson to the Steelers. All right, my man Clay Karcher is a big Steelers fan. I've been giving him shit for 2 weeks. Like, what in the hell is going through the Steelers' mind? Because I left out Kenny Pickett going to.
You got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields now. What could possibly go wrong?
Like, what are we doing?
I mean, that's Super Bowl or bust right there.
What are we doing? That's a franchise that has like had a winning season every single year for last 47,000 years.
Let's talk about. So what happened? Think about it. This is my point. This is my point about the NFL. When people try to make the NFL more complicated than it is in terms of predicting what's going to happen, they had Ben Roethlisberger for basically 2 decades.
Yep.
He stabilized their roster. He let you build around it. In the NBA, it's having a superstar. It's if you've got Nikola Jokic, if you've got Jason Tatum, if you've got Luka, you know the nucleus of your team. You build around those people. In the NFL, they had a quarterback. They had a dependable, all-pro level quarterback for what? How long did Roethlisberger play? 15 years?
Oh shit, probably more than that.
I mean, so you had. And now you've spent all this time trying to replace Ben Roethlisberger. And it might take them a decade or longer to find the next quarterback. When was the last time the Bears had a good quarterback? Jay Cutler?
It's been a minute.
And so when your quarterback play is shaky, your whole organization is shaky. Look who wins.
Well, welcome to shaky land, Steeler fans. That's shaky as hell. I don't even know if the Steelers' culture and stability can stabilize those two. I mean, that blew my mind. Our man, famous Jameis, is going to the Browns for a year. Gardner Minshew to the Raiders. Okay. Jimmy G is heading to the Rams. I guess he's got to still sit out his PEDs, his 3-game suspension, but he's got to deal with the Rams. So we just had, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, we knew a shuffle was coming, but damn. And I didn't have Kenny Pickett on here. It's
Tyrod Taylor to the Jets.
Tyrod Taylor to the Jets.
Yeah.
Be a backup. So you got all these guys. That's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 quarterbacks that have started, been starters in the NFL at least the last 2 years have changed teams. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a third of the league. It'd be like 40 quarterbacks in college football just changing teams and going to the portal. Starters leaving to go to start somewhere else. I mean, it's nuts. Running back wise, did want to talk about a couple of these because I think they're key moves. Derrick Henry's going to the Ravens. I don't like this move. For Derrick. Derrick's a downhill guy. That offense is too lateral and stretched in flat outside zones to downhill outside zone dependent. They're going to have to. I don't know about that one for Derrick. Saquon Barkley to the Eagles. Win for the Eagles. I think Saquon's legit. I don't think he's lost much at all, even with all of his injuries. He's as productive as he's ever been. Josh Jacobs to the Packers. Watch out for the Packers.
What do I do with my Raiders jersey now?
I don't know. What do you do with that? You burn it?
No, I can't burn it.
Tony Pollard to the Titans doesn't do anything for me. Aaron Jones to the Vikings. I think I like Aaron Jones, but it is what it is. And then DeAndre Swift to the Bears. I think that's a big move for the Bears. They literally now they're whoever the quarterback is going to have pieces around him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you gotta. They're making moves around him. They got help. It's almost very Houstonish what they did with C.J. Stroud. They're putting pieces around him, so there's not going to be many excuses for whoever they do draft. I can tell you that. And then McCready and Siskey favorite Austin Eckler to the Commanders.
Yeah.
So
headed to Washington. But
moves, we'll have plenty of draft talk and stuff leading up into the draft. But just while we were gone, it was like every day it was something popping, and I was joyfully unplugged. I did not care. I didn't. Dude, I watched baseball. I went and took my kid to play putt-putt, and we did the Biloxi thing with a small kid in between baseball games, and enjoyed the.
He did some social media for you. He was on some social media.
He
appearances.
Did. Yeah. He wanted to do that.
TikTok.
He wanted to do a TikTok, so he wanted to come on there. So we had a good time.
What are we gonna do if TikTok gets banned?
Fuck, I was joking with Cole that day. We're literally 300 followers away from being monetized.
Yeah.
And I told Cole the day we get to 10,000, they'll shut it down. It's McCready and Siskey fault. Hey, you think this episode is brought to you by the Biden-Harris administration? You just wait. I'll show you. I'll show you assholes. No, but hey, speaking of, I gotta say this. I've been meaning to tell you this.
Okay.
This is totally off topic.
You sound serious.
Yeah. So I go to play. So Knox, my 8-year-old, loves him some putt-putt, some mini golf. I'm talking about the kid would literally play. I'm telling you, if we had something like that here in Oxford, every single day.
I love putt-putt.
He's got an abnormal obsession with the sport.
Tell Knox I'll play anytime.
I mean, he's in. You don't have to ask him. All right. So we had 2 or 3 hours to kill for a game. Of course, you go down to the beach, there's putt-putt courses everywhere. So he picked this one. He goes online with me. He's looking at all the courses. He picks the one he wants to go to. So we go down there, and it's at one of these, these big fun centers that has go-karts, arcade, laser tags, and all that stuff. So it's a big center, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the new thing now is you go in and you purchase like a card, okay? And when you purchase a card, you can swipe it for video games and all kinds of stuff, right?
Okay.
We're just going to play putt-putt. That's all we're doing. Okay, so for me, it was like $8. For him, it was like $5 or $6. So our total is like $13, $14. And so she goes, will you be using cash or card? So I pull up my debit card. So I'll be using my debit card. She goes, well, if you use your debit card, sir, we have a 30% upcharge for
Why?
using your debit card.
Why?
Just telling you what happened. And so I'm like, and again, my bill's like $13. I'm like, what's another $3? Whatever. So because I don't ever carry cash. And so I give her the card, whatever. I'm like, how about that shit? And then as I swipe the card, then it comes up and asks, would you like to leave a tip?
No.
We have gotten out of control.
No doubt. 100%.
Out of control. With every single machine that you put your debit card in now, and it can be like, it's anything. I got asked to tip for putt-putt. Now, mind you, I'm going to take my card and go over there and use another machine on my own and get my own ball and my own. Do they want me to tip? What are they caddying for me on putt-putt course?
Yeah, I mean, because all they're going to do is just hand you the thing. And
no, they're not even doing that. They literally took
But even if they did, that's what they're paid to do.
The way I look at it, though, all kidding aside, is the amount of things that you're asking to tip for where all they do is the transaction in the cash register. That's not a tippable.
No.
Running the cash register is not a tippable thing. If you're serving me something, okay, if I'm going to, I'll just use this Panera Bread Company.
Okay.
And somebody makes my food and they bring the food out to my table. Okay, cool. Now, I'm still not going to tip you like I'm at a restaurant.
No.
But I get it a little bit. But when you're literally just running the register and you're asking for a tip, that's insane to me.
So like Nukes, you order your food and then you go wait for your food and that you pick it up.
If I
Do you tip at Nukes?
All right, yes and no.
Okay.
If I'm at Nukes and I order and eat in, yes. I go to Nukes all the time. I do the grab and go. I grab my own food. If it's a cash register only transaction,
right.
Answer's no.
Sure.
All
right, what about, I know you're probably not a Starbucks guy. Here's a question though.
I can go ahead and answer that for you though. The fact that I'm paying, however, I do go to Starbucks, not for myself, but I go in the car with my wife when she orders her frou-frou drinks. It takes 47 minutes to order. The coffee's already overpriced.
Yes.
So the answer is no.
So here's my rule.
Coffee.
My rule there, like there's a place in Nashville. It's one of Campbell's leaving Nashville soon, so I will miss this place. Near her place, they have great pour-over coffee. It's fantastic. To the point where I always think about getting the whole thing for myself and doing it. Then I think, it's not worth the trouble. But at the moment when I have it, I'm always like, I need to figure this out because I would do this at home. That takes some work, right? She has to grind up the grinds and she has to do the thing and she has to pour and I tip. But if I just come in and I'm in a hurry and I order has your already whatever the coffee of the day, it's already been brewed.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is fill up my
mug,
plastic cup for me to take and go. I'm not tipping. You didn't do anything. No big deal. It's fine, but nothing happened. And I'm a good tipper. Like I bartended my way through grad school. I believe in tipping. I tip pretty well. If I get really good service at a restaurant, I'll tip 30%.
Yeah.
But and I don't go out much, as you know, and I don't fast food ever.
You're changing.
I had a big weekend. I know.
You're changing. You're coming around. Neil McCready for socialite.
Laura and I went to 3 places Friday. And then on Saturday, I went to a basketball game and I took Carson to dinner.
You're coming around, dog.
I know. That for me was as much social. That was, what was that? Almost.
It is your sign that the pandemic is over.
35 hours of social activity.
Neil McCready is leaving his house. The pandemic is officially over.
I did more in 35 hours than I would typically do in 35 weeks.
I know.
It's bizarre. Wild. It's wild. Yeah. I saw.
You text me. You're going. I say, huh? Did you mean it? No.
You okay?
Are you good? Good. Yeah. Everything good?
But no, it's just like someone asked about Chipotle or whatever. Why should I tip at Chipotle?
Here's kind of how I separate it. Again, I could be dead wrong, but I don't feel like I'm wrong. And they asked about Waffle House here. Good in the Cooper Chevrolet chat. I do tip at Waffle House. The way I look at it is if I'm being served, I treat it just like a restaurant. If somebody comes to my table and brings me things, and especially at Waffle House, they're nice as all get out.
Yeah.
99.9% of the time. 80 to cool. That's another thing I'll tell you about Waffle House in a minute. But Yeah, they're talking to me. Yes, if I'm being served food, I tip.
Yeah.
If it's a cash register only transaction, the answer is
don't.
no. So
Got it.
Chipotle, no.
Do you tip Uber?
I do tip Uber.
I tip Uber too.
Yeah, I tip Uber well. I do.
If I get it's a good experience. If
I've
I
never
come
had
in
a bad
and the car's nasty and stuff,
Yeah.
I'm not tipping.
I've never had a bad. I don't Uber a lot, but when I do, I've never had like a bad Uber experience.
Yeah, I Ubered to and from the arena in Nashville. Was the reason I asked. And we Ubered back on Friday night because it was the smart thing.
I saw him in here earlier. Dave was in an Uber. Mach 10 Sports was in an Uber with me in Nashville, and I want to say it was Morgan Wallen. I'm pretty sure it was Morgan Wallen. If he's in here, he can remind me. We were in an Uber
with Morgan Wallen.
No, we were in an Uber, and the guy had his phone connected to his Bluetooth, and Morgan Wallen called the driver on his cell phone while we were in the car.
Oh wow!
I think they were friends or something. I was like,
"How about that?"
I think it was Morgan Wallen. I'm pretty sure. Dave could remind me. All right, Neil. Oh, about Waffle House. I did learn something on my trip to Biloxi. There are more Waffle Houses per square mile in the city of Biloxi, Mississippi, than in any other place in America. There are literally 5 Waffle Houses on the same street within a mile and a half of each other. It's insane. So Waffle House is kicking it.
You going to the Morgan Wallen concert in Oxford? I don't even think I'm gonna be in town.
Hot take. Not a big concert guy. I do. If you get me to go to like Dave Matthews, I'm in. Chris Stapleton, I'm in. But like the Morgan, I have no enjoy. That doesn't. I don't know. I don't have anything wrong with Morgan Wallen. I like Morgan Wallen, but I'm just not.
I have a really busy April of weekends.
Me too. Now, we'll talk about it later.
I've got multiple things going on in April.
Yeah,
weekend after weekend. Like I don't think I'm gonna be here for Double Decker. I don't think I'm gonna be here for the Morgan Wallen weekend, which is fine.
Like I enjoy Double Decker.
Yeah,
but it's like, but it's I'm not an all day guy. I go in the afternoon. I like going to the food trucks, seeing all the food trucks. Like I'll do that stuff. I'll grab a beer, let the kids listen a little bit, and I'm out. But I'm not an all day guy like that.
No.
All right, Neil, you got any bills to pay before we get to the fun stuff?
I do. We are sponsored by BetterHelp. What's the first thing you'd do if you had an extra hour in your day? Would you go for a run? Wish I could. Take a nap or read a book? A lot of us spend our lives wishing we had more time. The question is, time for what? If time were unlimited, how would you use it? The best way to squeeze a special thing into your schedule is to know what's important to you and make it a priority. Therapy can help you find what matters to you so you can do more of it. Therapy can be helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. So just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. Learn to make time for what makes you happy with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/MPW today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/MPW. GJG23 comes in with the hot take of the day. Double Decker is the worst weekend to go out in Oxford. Is that what he says?
To be
in Oxford. Huh. That's the first person I've ever heard say that.
No, I disagree with that. I mean, I get that. I guess I live here. You
do live here.
I do live here.
Yeah.
The worst time to be in Oxford is the Friday before an SEC home game.
No. That is an interesting time. But you can avoid that. The worst time to be in Oxford is the 3 or 4 days when all the before rush and stuff, when all the kids are moving in and all the parents are with them. You can come up with a kind of a game plan for a game week.
Yeah,
like it's
just one day.
Because if you're a local, the way I view it, I'm not gonna go out much anyway, but
not anymore.
But come Friday, the town's yours.
Yeah,
You're
all good.
It's all good.
It's a nightmare, but it's all good.
Yeah, but those days you can't really predict when all that's going down. You know that like the move in is Friday, Saturday, but some of the people start showing up early and grocery stores get just ambushed. And so, which is good. It's great for the town,
Yeah.
great for the economy. But those are the days that like traffic's out of control, and you get a lot of people that haven't been here. They don't really know how to do the traffic, and so it's a little hectic. That's the worst time.
They should be you should have to take a course on how to get through roundabouts before you come to Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah,
I get very frustrated with that.
yeah. It's like when you live in Mobile and people stop in the tunnel. You're like, no,
No,
don't stop.
never stop.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Never stop, and then stay off Airport Boulevard in Mobile.
Yeah.
Plus anything would stay around that. All right, Neil. Hey, can you drop that link in there one more time if you get a chance?
Yep.
All right, the official McCready and Siskey bracket challenge. Feel free to join us. I'm fixing to look at it. I'm pulling mine up right now. I've already filled my bracket out. I will be making a few changes, Neil. I've gone through. I've looked, studied very hard. We almost already have 100 people in it already. We hadn't. This is the first time we're talking about it. So I think Cole put it out on social media yesterday. So come on out. I think we had 100 in last year, and we're already at 90 something. I think I just looked. So come on, join us. Make sure you put your name in there. And look, here's the key thing: when you're doing the bracket challenge, put your name or a name that you would like us to identify you with, because we will give updates on the bracket and who's winning, all that stuff. So forth.
I'm on here right now. Where do I even put my name in?
I'll have to see it.
Okay.
I know mine just came up because I had it from last year, so mine just came up.
Okay.
So I'll fix it. Yep. My man Mach 10 Sports just texted me back. He said it was Morgan Wallen that called the guy.
Okay.
Called the Uber driver. All right.
See, it did not let me name mine.
Yeah, I'll show you where to name it.
Okay.
There's a way in your settings. Just make sure you go in there and name it so it doesn't say user 974644646.
Like mine just did.
Like yours does.
Yep.
So you'll say who it is, and then
so I'm already disqualified.
We'll fix you though. You're not. It's in the settings. We had some cool names. We had. I was looking down here earlier. We already had. We had Rico. Was I gotta find this one. One was about Rico Dono. We got some. We had like Siskey's baseball leggings in here. We had some good ones. So feel free. Snake Hot Guy. We got Snake Hot Guy as a bracket. We got some good ones in here. So, all right, Neil, let's get into it. We're going to start in the East region. All right, East region, which is everybody is griping about the East region. I got my take on this. Anybody that's bitching and complaining and upset about what seed they got or where they got sent, I mean, you're in the dance, man. If you're going to win the damn thing, you got to play them anyway. So I just don't. What's the best way? I don't understand. This is the one thing that bothers me about college basketball. I don't understand the moral victories of college basketball. I don't believe in hanging banners because you made it to the Sweet 16.
Okay. So you believe there's only one successful team in this whole tournament?
Maybe you can convince me with a Final Four.
Yeah, come on. Final Four is a big deal.
Okay. Hanging
means
banner.
You won a 16-team tournament.
But don't hit me with the round of – I mean, I've been in arenas. I've been in a bunch of arenas in my day, especially traveling with football and all that stuff. You're doing walkthroughs and locker rooms and everything else during these deals. Like, because you made it to the round of 32, I've seen round of 32 banners. Like just go into the NCAA tournament banners. That's participation trophy. That's got beta energy all over it. Like I can't stand that. I don't know. You win the conference titles, cool. Hang those banners.
Yeah, I have a hard time. I'll be honest. Today's one of my least favorite days for sports media because people get all these hot takes about who got screwed and who didn't get screwed and whatever.
You had your chance.
Well, look.
Twice.
You're going to have to go win the games. At some point in this bad boy, you're going to have to
play,
you're going to have to beat good teams.
You got to.
So you might as well get started.
But it was like, well, we got a good draw, man. We can get all the way to the Sweet 16. Well, no, you got to play them. I don't know. That bothers me. That's got beta energy all over it. That's got participation trophy all over it. That's got softness just written all over it. I hate that stuff. I know, Grind. I know you're going to disagree with me on that. It's just me, man. That's just how I am. All right. So UConn opens up with Stetson. That's an easy dub. All right, here's the first one that I had issues with in my bracket: FAU and Northwestern. I think that's going to be a good game. I think everybody's going to go with FAU because of the recency
No,
bias.
I went with Northwestern.
That is one that I'm 50-50 on right now. I have not decided where I'm going to go with that one. San Diego State UAB. I'm riding with AK right here.
It's a 5-12 game.
5-12
You
game.
know that at least 1-12 and probably 2-12s are going to win.
I'm riding with AK, man. They played really, really well in the tournament. They did get some breaks there with the way that tournament fell. But
they did, but they beat the 1 seed. I mean, come on. Look.
No, I'm all for them. I'm just saying, like, they played they played so much better in their tournament than they had played coming down the stretch. And San Diego State a little bit the same way, but I've watched San Diego State a bunch this year. Their average is grits.
They've under Andy been a really good tournament team. They've won it now twice. Last year they lost to FAU in the conference final. I mean, they've been a tough out in their conference tournament. And they go to the American and they win the conference tournament in year one. It's a hell of an accomplishment for
AK
Andy
does well in tournaments.
And his program. Yeah.
I do think I will say this. I think there's something to coaches that understand how to get their kids back on those short turnarounds. I do. I like UAB in this game. And then Auburn Yale. I don't even think it's a game. I like Auburn. I got Auburn UAB round of 32 game in Spokane, Washington. I love it.
Yeah, the people that are doing this Yale thing over Auburn, give me a break.
A team that I really like that's really struggled down the stretch, BYU.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 6-11 game to pay attention to.
Yeah, Duquesne could win this game.
Duquesne could win this one. I'm going to take BYU, but Duquesne can win it. Illinois, Morehead State. Morehead State is legit. They're really good.
So is Illinois.
But so is Illinois. I don't see an upset happening here. Washington State and Drake. I'm taking Washington State.
Oh, see, I don't hate Drake here.
I just like Washington State.
Yeah.
And Drake had not played anybody. Like, I went back. I've actually studied. They just hadn't played anybody on this one. And then the team I really like, really, really, really like, to the point to where I've had them going in my first run at this. I had them winning this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Iowa State Cyclones.
Yeah.
Iowa State. So they beat Houston yesterday. Was that Saturday? They beat them really bad. Whatever day it was. They drubbed them. Now, what I did not realize on that was that that was an Iowa State home game. The amount of fan support that Iowa State had there was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally, it was a Iowa State home game, and they had like a watch party right outside. It was crazy. I love Iowa State. Really good. The way and if they get hot, if they hit from the perimeter shot, if they hit the perimeter shots, they're damn near unbeatable. They're very, very similar to Houston, but Houston's a little bit more athletic. Houston has better ball movement. Houston just can't shoot, man. Houston has more open looks than any team in America, and they still win, but they're not a very good shooting team. But I got Iowa State going. Here's where we get a little crazy. All right, so UConn is playing as good as anybody else is in America right now. I think UConn gets to the Sweet 16. I got UConn losing to Auburn in the Sweet 16.
I can see it.
I'm going to do everything the way this, and I could be totally just convinced out of this. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to build my bracket. I'm not going to have a single number one seed going to the Final Four.
Okay.
After what happened this weekend, and there's so much parity in college basketball right now.
Well, now UConn though they
held
serve, and
they're
are good.
They are good. They are good. But the way if Auburn is deep, and you got Broome. I think Broome can match up and actually win the matchup with UConn's bigs, and I think they can defend on the perimeter. I think Auburn's a deep team. I think I think it's upset city. I think it's hard to repeat NCAA champions 2 years in a row. Obviously, I think it's been done once. Florida did it. I got Auburn upsetting them. I could be wrong there, but that's where I got them going out. I got Iowa State basically advancing all the way through to the Elite Eight, and that's where I got my big one in this one. I have Auburn and Iowa State as my last two in this region.
Okay.
All right. Have you done one yet on this region?
I have not. I mean, I did a little quick one yesterday just to make a quick picks for my 10 weekend thoughts, but not really. No, I mean, I really haven't. I mean, I've got I mean, I like Connecticut to face Auburn. You could talk me into Auburn winning the game, and I got Illinois, Iowa State as a toss up. I've got Connecticut winning. I think Connecticut's the best team in the country.
Agree.
I think they're going to. I think they're going back to the Final Four. I won't be surprised if they win the title again. I think they're that good. I watched a lot of the Big East tournament and would start games cheering against Connecticut, and by the end, I was cheering for them. I like their team.
So if you look at KenPom, right, after the full season's over with, you have UConn's ranked first. You got Houston is ranked second. Purdue's ranked third. But here, check this out. You got UConn is very offensive dependent. Purdue's very offensive dependent. Houston's very defensive dependent. Do you know who's dead ass on the middle of that line right there? Auburn at 4. So they're not really dependent on offense and defense, and they're playing well. They got confidence just winning the SEC tournament. I don't know. I think they can have a quote unquote off night on one side and still beat you with the other side of it. So, but I do see UConn's the best team. I mean, when they're playing, they're tough. Everybody's going to pick UConn. I'm going to try to go contrary to that and get them out to try to win.
I mean, Auburn could do it. Auburn's got to play an elite game. The thing about UConn is they've got bigs, plural, who can match up with Auburn's bigs. They've got guards who are very experienced, dynamic, smart, playmaking guards. And then they have dudes. They got athletes all over the floor. I could see Auburn out-athleting them in a game where they are able to really control tempo, and maybe they get the one big kid, the draft kid. I can't think of his name right now. I should think of it, but I'm not there. Get him in some foul trouble. Maybe Broom goes crazy. I mean, I thought Janai played a phenomenal SEC tournament.
He did.
But he's going to have to play that level, and they're going to have to shoot it really well. Baker Mazzara is going to have to play an elite game. But look, a Final Four of Connecticut, Auburn, Illinois, and Iowa State could be the damn Final Four.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a phenomenal. Where would those games be? Where's
Boston, I think.
That'd be a doubleheader worth going to.
Yeah. Interesting deal here is you got Auburn, UConn, and Iowa State, according to KenPom, are 3 of the top 5 teams in the country. They're in the same region.
Yeah.
So I think the winner comes out of this one. I think whoever wins this region is going to win the whole thing. I can go ahead and tell you that.
East plays West, right? In the the semi?
East plays West. All right, here we go. West. Okay, got North Carolina. It's not going to have a problem. Mississippi State and Michigan State. This is the first one. I have no problem with this one. I'm taking Mississippi State
all day.
Michigan State is floundering down the stretch.
Let me tell you something about Mississippi State now.
I watched this one, right?
I watched them in person on Thursday, up close. I was second row. First of all, Chris Jans is one hell of a basketball coach. They've got a dominant big in Tolu. They've got complementary bigs in DJ Jeffries and the freshman, the kind of fat kid.
I'm bad with names.
Both good players. Hubbard is electric.
He's a dude.
Josh Hubbard at one point was 1 for 8 shooting. And you looked up and you're like, here he goes. And boom, hits a shot. Boom, hits a shot. He's not a great shooter. He's a great scorer. And then the guy on their team that I love, like, let me sit courtside and just watch Cam Matthews play. I'm in. Sign me up. Love him. Love everything about his game. He's a lockdown guy. And they feed off their defense. They're able to pound the ball into the paint. They do a lot of things really well. Look, I'm telling you, Mississippi State could scare the hell out of North Carolina in the round of 2.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Neil, because your boy, I have them beating North Carolina.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I'm just going to let everybody know, so before y'all start hating on my bracket and all that stuff, I'm looking for every single way I can to get the ones out of there as fast as possible.
Now, I've got North Carolina beating Mississippi State, but if you told me it went the other way, I'm not surprised.
It can happen. I sat there and watched NC State beat the shit out of North Carolina on Saturday night.
To do it, Hubbard's got to have one of those games Tolo's got to be completely engaged. He's got to avoid foul trouble. Jeffries can't lose his mind the way that he did in the Auburn game, and he's kind of temperamental. He's got to be under control. If they'll do those things and let Matthews focus on the defensive end, look out.
I think they're hot. I think they're believing. I got them going to the second weekend there.
Okay.
All right. Here's one right here. All right. A lot of people are picking this one. St. Mary's and Grand Canyon. A lot of people are picking Grand Canyon to win this game.
Yeah, I'm not.
I've watched them. Look, I think they're good. They just haven't played anybody.
And St. Mary's has.
St. Mary's has.
St. Mary's is good. I've watched them a couple times.
In
fact, I watched their game against Gonzaga in the conference title game. They're strong.
Yeah, I'm taking St. Mary's here.
Gonzaga, not Gonzaga. Gonzaga. I'll get someone will email me about it. I'm like, dude, does that thing matter? But yes, Gonzaga.
How's it?
It's Gonzaga.
Okay, I'll say Gonzaga just for piss them off. All right, Alabama and Charleston. Again, another one that Alabama.
Watch out,
Alabama.
Watch out. This got upset written all over it. Alabama's not playing well. Alabama's not playing. Hey, and Charleston is. And Charleston can beat Alabama at Alabama's game. And that's Alabama's problem is they can't stop anybody. Look, they're like 1-4 in their last 5. And they're, frankly, now that the season's over, you can say these things without people getting all pissy and emotional. Arkansas was average. Arkansas goes into Tuscaloosa, and on the dunk, the kid got fouled. Okay? They didn't call it. Alabama, to its credit, came down, made a 3, sent it to overtime, and won. But if the kid gets fouled, and if they call the foul, or if he makes a dunk, it's over. They're 0-5 in their last 5. Alabama's not playing well.
They just can't stop anybody, dude. Like it's.
And in this tournament, you can't just consistently go out score everybody. You're gonna have to play some defense. It's why I like Auburn. It's why I like UConn. It's why I like Illinois, Iowa State. Some of the teams we've talked about. It's why I love Mississippi State's chances in a tournament to make noise. You have to have an identity defensively.
That's why I like. All right, so Charleston's one. I think I looked at it. It was like I looked at it earlier today. It was like 11, 12, 13 in a row, whatever it is. Now, they haven't played anybody either. I think Alabama will out-athlete them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the next matchup, I think it's going to be St. Mary's and Alabama in the round of 32. That's the one that scares you because St. Mary's is well coached. They slow it down. They're going to run they will score against Alabama. Now, can Alabama – that's going to be a tempo game. Whoever's tempo gets established, if Alabama can get them to run up down the court, Alabama will win the game against St. Mary's. If it turns into a half-court game, St. Mary's will beat Alabama if it turns into a half-court game.
I don't like Alabama's chances to get to the second weekend. Now, they're good. They're a good team. They had a great year. I think Nate's a terrific coach. But
I do have them going to the second weekend.
But they're going to have to start guarding people.
But it's been bad. But it's just matchups. They got a good draw. All right, interesting here. Clemson's the 6th seed is actually in Vegas, an underdog to the 11 seed New Mexico.
This will be a really good game.
Should be a good game.
Yeah.
I think New Mexico was favored by 1.5 last I looked. But you don't see that very often where a 6 is an underdog to an 11. They gave no love to the Mountain West. No love.
Mm.
I mean, like
got a bunch of bids, but
they had but I'm saying like seating wise,
they
gave no love.
Okay.
New Mexico's a good team. Problem is the round of 32. Baylor plays Colgate. See no issues there. I think Baylor rolls through New Mexico or Clemson. It doesn't matter who they play.
I tend to agree.
Dayton, Nevada. I like Dayton here. I've watched a ton of Dayton. I've watched a ton of Nevada. I like Dayton a lot. I think they get to round 2. And then this Arizona team, which is Arizona is kind of Purdue-ish.
It's everybody's sexy pick right now, too.
They are really good. They can literally beat anyone any single night, and then they just flop out of nowhere.
Yep.
Just randomly just flop. But I got Arizona actually going all the way to my Final Four. I think they run through, and that's assuming. Now, if you told me North Carolina meets them, I'm counting North Carolina to get upset, but I got Arizona in my Final Four.
Yeah, I think I do too. But I don't love it. I've got Arizona beating Mississippi State in the Elite Eight.
It's funny you say that. I had Alabama playing a Mississippi State rematch in Sweet 16.
Phew.
So
that'd be intense.
And they've already beat them twice, so it's matchup wise.
Bama beat State twice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There and at home. Pretty well. I mean, pretty good, too. It was actually the last time that Alabama played like Alabama. They beat them by 30-something. I just don't think Mississippi State can score with them. They can play defense, but they can't score with them. All right, let's go up to the South. Interesting here. I got some interesting matchups here. We got Houston. It's going to dispose of Longwood. Nebraska versus Texas A&M. We got the Trev Alberts Bowl. How about that? Trev Alberts leaving.
Saw that.
Can I say something on his behalf? Wise move.
Of course.
I've said this as you had this with Juwan Howard.
He didn't owe his all the whole leaving your alma mater thing. You're a grown man. Don't make decisions based on your freaking alma mater. Be smart.
Here's the deal. So he left his alma mater.
Yeah.
On his own.
Yeah.
Okay. He will actually be able to have warm, fuzzy feelings about Nebraska forever. And Nebraska will be pissed for a little while, but you know what? Eventually they'll come back around. It's very.
He made a career decision.
I've said this I'll say it and I'll continue to say it. I've been through it. Just telling you. If you want life advice for coaches, don't ever coach at your alma mater.
Absolutely.
Ever.
No
I don't care if it's an assistant job, head coaching job, whatever. Do not coach at your alma mater. Ever.
Especially if you're one of those people that loves it.
If you like your university,
right,
don't ever do it.
If it means something to you, do not go coach there. If you don't care, fine.
Because you'll find really quick that the amount of love that you have for them, they don't have back at you. And now, long as you're winning, it's all hunky-dory, snow clouds and bunny rabbits and My Little Ponies. But the second that anything goes wrong, your ass will be fired and your whole it's terrible. So, but who you got right here? What do you like, Nebraska and Texas? I think it's gonna be a great game.
I've got A&M.
I do too, just because of the recently.
Good guards.
They played well. Give it to them.
Truth is, I'm kind of a Wade Taylor the fourth guy. I like him. Kind of cheer for him. Kind of cheer for Radford. I think I'm hoping they win.
All right, I'm going with I like Texas A&M. I'm so interested. Here's the deal with Houston. Houston can defend like no other.
Oh, Houston's going to roll through this quadrant. There's nobody in
they can defend.
There's
like
nobody in this
no
quadrant
other.
that beats them.
Here's the thing though with Houston. They have, like Neil, it's unbelievable the amount of clean looks they have on offense that they just don't score well. Now, if they start hitting threes and doing things, they will run you out of the building.
Yeah.
But consistently, ball movement, it's a thing of beauty, man.
Yeah.
I mean, those dudes get more open looks than you've ever seen in your life. They just don't have there's a lot of time. They don't shoot the ball well. And they're so athletic. If they score, you have no chance. If Houston scores, I'm just telling everybody, if Houston goes on 5 or 6 games here where they score at all, everybody's playing for second.
Yeah.
Because the way they defend, their ball movement, the clean looks, the way they run, transition offense, transition defense, if they can put the ball in the hoop, we're all playing for second.
Yes. I mean, if everybody plays at their highest level, Houston and Connecticut will play for the title.
Yes. And Houston will win.
They're the two best teams.
And
when they maximize.
Yes.
But it just takes one day. The game I'm interested in is this next one, Wisconsin, James Madison. You could talk me into James Madison pretty easy. And yet I like Wisconsin. And if you remember me telling you earlier in the year, you asked me, give me some sleepers. And one of my sleepers was Wisconsin.
They played great. And they just went through that
and
last
then they went through a lull. And then they played great again.
Yeah. They lulled toward the end, too.
I mean, their semifinal against Purdue the other day was absolutely
They were unconscious in the tournament.
Fantastic.
They were unconscious in the tournament.
And they played Illinois really well yesterday.
Should've won.
Illinois just was really good, too.
They had like a 7-point lead at one time yesterday.
So Wisconsin, people are writing them off.
I got them.
Everybody's doing the James Madison thing, and I know why. James Madison's really good.
30 win team.
But a Wisconsin-Duke round of 2 game would be a lot of fun.
All right, that's who I have. I have Wisconsin and I have Duke. I do think Vermont and James Madison will both keep this game close probably till the 10-minute mark. But I think Wisconsin is better. I just do.
Yeah.
All right, Texas Tech and NC State. What are you doing in that game?
Texas Tech, NC State did the five games in 5 days thing, and those kind of teams almost never keep going.
What's my guy's name? My big guy from NC State, the 300-pounder.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
They literally won the ACC tournament running the exact same play the entire time down the court. in the second half. They would go down, they'd get the ball on the offense right, dump it in. He's either driving to the hole with his backing them down, going up with his left hand, or he's kicking it out. He's a great passer. That was fun to watch. I was excited for them. I got Texas Tech as well. I just think they've kind of shot their load on that one. Kentucky, Oakland, got Kentucky.
Yeah.
All right. Injury to Florida. Did you see the injury?
Yeah, I did. I was watching the game.
I haven't watched it yet. I refuse.
I was super excited for that game. Florida and Auburn. The last time they played, Florida won pretty handedly down in Gainesville. Bruce and Todd Golden are really good friends.
He was on his staff, right?
Stephen Pearl and Todd Golden are like best friends. They're like family almost. So I was excited for the game. I really like Florida's team.
Gave to their collective too, right?
As much as I can.
Okay.
What I'm not giving to Arkansas, I give to Florida.
Is it a 50-50 split right now between Arkansas and Florida?
I'd really rather not say.
Okay.
Because I don't
personal.
I don't want to upset people's feelings. I mean, that's.
So do you call the Hogs like, woo, chomp chomp?
Yeah. Well, what I do is I give to Florida basketball only.
Oh, okay.
And then when I give to, I don't want Laura to hear this. When I give to Arkansas, I don't give to basketball. I skip basketball, and I give a little bit to football, but I like to give most of it to baseball because I want a front run.
I got you.
And that's why they're winning right now. They're number one because of my gifts. But when he went down, it was 2.5 minutes in. It was 5-2, 7-2 Auburn when it happened, and it was just you knew it was bad. And man,
I was in church. Did they show it live? Did they replay it?
No.
Okay, good. Because my wife saw it on Twitter, and my wife she's in the medical field.
It's terrible,
and she was even grossed out.
I knew because I saw blood on the floor.
Oh.
I knew it was bad, and the part that got me and it made me where I really just kind of didn't want to watch the game anymore. It really got to me was the parents.
Yeah, it sucks.
The dad came out on the floor and immediately kind of got down by his face, and Todd Golden moved so that the dad could be right there, and you could tell that the kid was scared. Of course he was scared. My God, at the amount of time and work. I hate injuries. I hate injuries. The amount of time and work that goes into that. He's playing in the SEC championship game 3 minutes earlier. He's so excited he's about to play on national television in the championship game of one of the most prestigious conferences in America. And later that day, he's going to get a bid to the NCAA tournament. He's about to go play in the NCAA tournament. You work your ass off to get to this place. March is fun. October's not fun. March is fun. You get there and it's gone. And then you saw the dad worried about his son, and he saw the bone and the whole deal. And mom comes out. Mom's bad, upset. And all I could think about was those parents. And then some of the kids on the Florida team got emotional. It was tough. I mean, it was like.
Have you ever had like a really bad break like that? Have you personally?
I've broken my face.
Ugh. Well, you couldn't see that at least.
No, I couldn't. I felt it.
You can feel it.
Yeah, I felt it pretty good.
When I fell off the ladder, my foot was backwards.
Oh God!
So that when you see disfigurement, you know
it's bad.
Yeah, I've done my fingers a bunch playing receiver. The one that I've seen up close, I've seen 2 injuries up close that like literally made me nauseous. The first one was when I was a player at Troy. We had a receiver, really good player, Hayward Skipper. I think he played in the NFL for a little bit. He was really good. He was our best player. We were in spring practice, like the first or second practice of spring practice, and, wearing gloves or whatever. And I remember it was like routes on air because we wasn't even in pads yet. And just throwing slants or, routes on air. And he was like, he was like, dislocated my finger or whatever. And all of a sudden, like, that was when we could only wear gray gloves. Remember that rule they used to have? You can only wear gray gloves? And he started bleeding. Dude, he didn't just dislocate his finger. It knocked his finger off, like the knuckle.
Oh, my God.
Like the top of his knuckle was off, like knocked his finger off, so he's taking his glove off and his finger is off. And I was like, and at first we're just, man, everybody's dislocated finger or whatever, playing receiver. So you can tell my finger's crooked as hell. I can sit there. I have no tendons left in my,
Stop, don't do
it's
that
my
again. Party
trick. I have nothing left in my right pinky. It's my party trick. But his finger was off and then blood in his glove and stuff. That was disgusting.
Did they put it back on?
No, he played with I think they tried, but he played with some disfigurement from after that. But and then we had a corner. So I'm a GA at Arkansas State. This would have been 2002, I think. And we were playing Middle Tennessee, and a receiver that actually played with the Titans a little bit named Tyrone Calico was like the best receiver in the league at that time. And we had a corner named Chris Jones, and this is when back in the days when you're playing like vanilla cover 3 and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
First or second play of the game, we're at home and we're in cover 3, and they're going to run a post with Tyrone Calico, and Chris is he's in his back pedal, and he turns to run with Tyrone on the post, and his foot got caught in the sprinkler head on the field because it was all grass. And when right as he was turning and running, and his
I don't like the story.
Body went one way.
I don't like this story.
The sound of him screaming.
No, don't.
And all right, he picks his leg up, and his knee just flopped over.
Stop it! Stop it!
It was bad. It was bad. He never played again. So it was bad. But golly, that was. Whew. Anyway, all right. Where were we? Back in Florida. All right. How far do you have Florida? Does that affect them in your mind?
Yeah, it affects them. I've got them losing to Marquette in round 2.
Marquette's legit good now.
Yeah.
They're in the league. Hey, they're in that. They get lost in the shuffle a little bit.
No, they're a top 10 team.
You got Creighton, you got Marquette, and you got UConn. Big East ain't no joke now.
Mm-mm.
Now the thing with Big East teams that you got to pay attention to if you're betting on it, who is officiating the game.
Yes.
Because they let those Big East dudes play.
They let them play, and they get in the tournament, and they play a close whistle, and everybody's in foul trouble.
And they get in foul trouble real quick.
It's one of the reasons I still like Connecticut. They can adjust to that better than some of the other teams.
It always gets them. I think the SEC tournament had Big East officials this past weekend.
They let them play.
They let them play.
Yeah.
And they want to know why it gets chippy. Officials have this fine line that they got to control the chippiness, but
Like that Mississippi State Auburn game.
Woo, they were just
son.
Let her go, boys.
Yeah.
Let her go.
And then when they try to rein it in, all of a sudden it's like it's too late now,
too late.
boys.
You got to do it early.
That happens in soccer a lot. A referee, no joke, especially high school soccer, the referee doesn't know how to control a game. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna pass out a couple of red cards. It's like, no, it's too late now.
Too late, boss. Too late. I got Marquette going. Here's my team. I got Kentucky making a run here.
Okay. See, I've got Marquette going to the Elite Eight, losing to Houston. I've got this one going by
Kentucky
Charlotte.
could lose in the second round too. If Kentucky gets hot shooting, they have played tougher.
Yeah, I mean Kentucky.
They could be a problem for Houston to match up.
Kentucky could lose to Texas Tech.
They could lose to Texas Tech. They could also beat Houston because they got the matchup.
They could. Kentucky's path to winning is that you play a team, you light it up, and they don't make a bunch of shots.
Yep.
But, man, it's kind of hard to watch Kentucky down the stretch be inconsistent and go, oh, yeah, they're good.
But if you told me Marquette comes out of this region, I'm not going to be surprised either.
No.
All right, the region that I'm having a tough time with, and I really am, is the Midwest, and this is the last one, then we'll get to life advice and get you guys out of here. Purdue, I'm just going to let everybody know I'm not a believer in Purdue.
I've got them to the Elite Eight.
I can see it because of matchups.
But I just love their draw.
They have a great draw.
They're going to win round 1. Montana State Grambling.
They play TCU. They're going to have some issues in the second round matchup wise.
They will. I mean, everybody's going to have some issues second round. Everybody's good. But I've got Purdue winning that one. I'll tell you who I love now.
Let's go. We're ready. Here comes the discussion because I'm the same way. Give it to me Cowboy style. Neil McCready. Who you got?
I love McNeese.
McNeese State Cowboys.
I love McNeese over.
Let's go. Will Wade.
Over Gonzaga.
I got him going. I got him going to the Sweet 16 for sure.
And then I've got him beating Kansas or Samford, and I've got Samford starred depending on what Kansas's health situation is. Like, is Dickinson playing? Are they healthy? Because if they're not healthy, Samford's going to run you.
All right. Here's the thing with Samford. Okay.
And that game's in altitude, right?
Yes, in Salt Lake. Here's the thing with Samford. I'm going to pull them up real quick. I want to give this one to you. Hang on. I want to show you what I saw in Samford. I'm a Samford Bulldog fan. I love me some Samford. Okay. Where are we at here? Well, I can't spell it right.
SAM.
No, I know I spelled it wrong. All right. Here we go with Samford. Okay. When they haven't played anybody. Okay. So they played to start the season. They played Purdue to start the season. Do you know what the score of the Purdue game was?
I don't.
98-45.
Okay.
Then they played VCU. Do you know what the score of the VCU game? They lost. They lost by 10 to VCU. So their best win, they have not beat a top one. Their best win is against Western Carolina at 108.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, I like McNeese out of this quadrant, and I won't be shocked. I can't believe I'm saying this on a show, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm in the minority. I like Will Wade. I know it can be kind of obnoxious, but I sort of like Will Wade. McNeese is the team. If I'm Purdue, I don't want them.
Does McNeese win it all, Neil?
No. No, because, okay, I'm going to throw
that puts them in the Elite Eight now.
I know it does. Let me throw a stat at you. Since Ken Palm Analytics began in 2002,
okay,
every national champ but one has been top 25 in both offense and defense efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
This season, that's 8 teams. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
In alphabetical order. Arizona.
Yep.
Auburn.
Which is the best?
UConn.
Mm-hmm.
Creighton, who I love.
Yep.
Okay.
Remember, I picked them.
Houston. Marquette. North Carolina. And Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 teams closest to it, really close to it, almost qualifying for that, are Tennessee and Duke. I'm telling you, there's
Tennessee's 29-3.
A lot of people sleeping on Duke.
I'm not a believer in Duke. I'm sleeping on Duke.
Just remember that one.
Yeah, no.
Remember that one. That we're doing some Purdue stuff based on last couple of seasons in the tournament. At the end of the day, those are just 2 games. It's not a trend.
All right, so
it's an anomaly.
Let me hit you with McNeese. Okay, they also played VCU early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
They beat them at VCU by 11.
Okay, yeah, he's got dudes.
All right, they played UAB at UAB.
Mm-hmm.
It's another tournament team. They beat them by 21.
Yeah,
at UAB. Again, I'm just going to bigger schools here. They played Michigan, okay, at Michigan, beat Michigan by 11. Again, that's a bigger team, right?
Yep.
Like when they play, like, dude, you don't. I like McNeese, man. I mean, I get that it's McNeese State, but like he has used the portal to his advantage, and it's not a McNeese State team. It's just a jersey they're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a legit team. That's a legit team. If that was an SEC team, I think they're in the tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a legit team.
I no doubt. I've tried. I've told. Listen, when people, and congratulations to Ole Miss for locking up Chris Beard, but when people were doing this, Chris Beard going to leave? Is Chris Beard going to leave? I'm like, I don't know. And then people go, well, who would you hire? Oh, I'd hire Wade. Oh, you can't hire that asshole. I'm like, why not? I mean,
they're sitting here as a 12 seed.
I look at coaches sort of like I look at presidents.
Yeah.
You're not having dinner with them. What difference does it freaking make how nice they are? I mean, that's kind of my thing. Like, I'm not a Trump guy, for example, but I'm not against Trump because he's a mean tweeter. Someone goes, he's a bad guy. I'm like, okay, are you going to dinner with him or what? I mean, is he going to lower my taxes? And with the coach, it's real simple.
Okay, is he going to win?
Is he going to win? Because you're not hanging with him. Because if you're hanging out with the coach all the time, you're either married to him or you're a creep. It's a general rule. Not always. There are exceptions to every rule. But in general, you go out to a football practice and you see the same 10 men hanging around.
Yeah.
Something's up.
Well, not always.
Not if they're always there.
I'm trying to think who was always there. I wouldn't say always. We had a good group. I've never felt the guys that came to practice in the places that I have been.
Yes.
First of all, at Alabama, nobody came to practice.
I know. And Lane stopped it.
Except one.
Lane stopped it too.
Except one. Yeah. We had one guy.
Paul Bryant Jr.
No. You know how many practices he came to all the time I was there?
None.
I think 2. And one of them was when he's on the board or whatever. So they were showing the board members the new facilities.
Okay.
I think maybe 2. I know one for sure.
So the one from Mobile?
He was from Mobile. I bet you know.
Start with an M?
No.
No. Okay. Start with a T?
Nope.
No.
Mobile Mafia, man.
Oh. You sure it didn't start with an M?
I'm 100% sure it didn't start with M. I know who they're talking about.
Okay.
We had one that came to practice a lot, though.
Okay. Huh.
You know who it is.
Okay. You'll have to tell me later.
Yeah. I mean, you know who it is.
Was he one of the people who played a role in my deal in 2007?
Oof.
Because most of mine were Mafia people.
Hang on, Neil. This is a great pod. Neil and I playing charades. Guess
Budweiser?
No,
No?
it's Texas tea.
Okay. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, he kind of did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It changed our we didn't frequent that establishment any longer.
Gotcha. No, and then what was cool is like when I came here with Freeze, the guys that came to practice, same guys that came to it, like they were legitimate friends of ours. They came to our practices at Arkansas State.
Yeah.
So good dudes. Anyway, I haven't had that problem.
Okay.
So,
but I've got Creighton over McNeese. The other one down at the bottom that I'm a little lost on. I've got Texas beating Virginia.
What do we do with the Vols, man? Talk to me. Chat, what do we do with the Vols, chat?
I've got Tennessee beating St. Peter's, but I'm not crazy about Tennessee versus Texas. I'm a little worried about Tennessee once they get to Texas.
What do we do about the Vols, chat?
And I'm trying not to put too much emphasis on their game against Mississippi State in the tournament.
I think Mississippi State was playing out of their mind.
Well, and State had just played the day before and had some momentum, and Tennessee had a break, and they had.
Sometimes a loss like that, they need a reset.
Connect didn't play well on Friday afternoon.
When he goes, they go. But like, what's crazy is about Tennessee. Like you talking about KenPom. Tennessee is the. Let me go up here.
They like them.
I got KenPom pulled up. Tennessee is the. I think they're 5. No, they're the 7th ranked team on KenPom.
But I'll tell you this now: if Tennessee can get past Texas and get to weekend 2, Tennessee Creighton would be one hell of a basketball game.
That's who I got in there.
And then you could end up with a Tennessee or Creighton versus Purdue or, frankly, McNeese. Easy.
I think it's easy. I do think it's either, in my opinion, it's either Creighton or Tennessee that makes it to the Final Four out of this region. You can't convince me on Purdue.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Creighton. Creighton's really good.
And they'll lay egg once in a while too now. They stunk one up against Providence the other day.
Pretty much everybody has stunk one up at one even. I mean, look, Houston's been blown out this year. Connecticut's been blown out this year. You can blow teams out. I mean, there's no Florida Gators from back in the day. There's no Christian Laettner, Grant Hill, Duke in this tournament.
Dude, how fun was 92, man, with Duke and Kentucky?
It was awesome.
They're still making commercials on that. I saw one the other day.
You know, the team that doesn't get enough credit, and it hasn't been that long, is the Al Horford, Joakim Noah, Corey Brewer, Lee Humphreys, those guys, Billy Donovan's Florida team. They were like rock stars walking through a building.
That was when they were playing the tournament in Atlanta.
At the Georgia Dome.
And that was a setup. I actually enjoyed the setup there.
Was it Maurice Spates on that team? I mean, he was coming off their bench. He's an NBA guy, played for years. I mean, that team was loaded.
Yeah, they were loaded.
Billy had built an absolute beast in Gainesville.
That's the last one to go back-to-back.
Yeah. He built a beast in Gainesville. He doesn't get credit for it. They had Al Horford and Joakim Noah on the same front court.
Yeah, and Walton.
And Corey Brewer was an elite defensive player.
Walton, you forgot about Walton.
Walton.
Yeah, that one, the Walton redheaded one. Walton.
Florida did?
Yeah.
No, he was at Arizona.
They had a Walton at Florida, right?
I don't remember that.
I know I'm not crazy. They had number 44, and they had what was the other kid's name? They had another one. Now you got me going to call up 2008 Florida roster.
Was it 2008?
Yeah, pretty good in football there too. It's going to drive me crazy. Maybe not.
All right, the 06-07 Florida basketball roster.
Okay.
Corey Brewer. I'm naming the guys that played. Tarian Green was a terrific player. Lee Humphrey, Joakim Noah, Walter Hodge played a little. Chris Richard played a little. Maurice Spates, as I mentioned. Al Horford. That was a loaded team. They were really good. No Waltons.
Golly, what's the freaking guy? I'm just going to drive me crazy. I'll think of it later. All right, Neil, we'll get to some life advice.
Yep. So life advice presented by Cole Walters of State Farm Insurance. Cole is licensed in auto, home, life, health, business. This is a long show. I realized what time it was. Life, business, and pet insurance for the whole state of Georgia. Contact Cole at 706-525-7850. You can also find him at ColeWaltersInsurance.com. COLE Walters, WALTERS insurance.com. All right. The question sent to us late last week. Hey guys, the company I work for offered me a position. I'm completely torn whether to take it or not. Going to give a good bit of context to start. I'm married and have a 9-month-old. I'm currently in sales for an equipment company on the service side of the business. I made $150,000 last year and probably making a little more this year. I feel like I pretty much maxed this territory out from a sales standpoint. I got offered a new sales position for out in the Midwest. It would be about $225,000 to $275,000 a year. That's been about the average for the past few years for this territory. I would be away from home 2 out of 3 weeks a month, 2 to 3 weeks a month with this position. Sorry. For context, I'm out an average 2 nights a week now. Every once in a while, I'll be gone for a week for some convention or customer hunt or etc. The other part of this that I've been eyeing a new sales position. I need my readers. In my current territory for a while. The current person is retiring in 2 years roughly. It's $500,000 to $600,000 spot. They told me by taking the position in the Midwest, it would basically just be training for the position in my current territory. I would pretty much be guaranteed that position. If I don't take it, they said, it wouldn't hurt me from getting it, but it would be way less chances than if I took the Midwest position. They also told me if I just hated it and gave them a year at least, they would find me something back on the service side that would be a good job. It's never been a problem staying out, but since having my son, I get to missing him, etc. I don't want to be an absent dad, even if it's just for 2 years. Miss the first steps and all of that. So I know for staying out for 3 weeks and sometimes not coming home for weekends, that would be really hard. My life is really good right now. Our marriage is probably the best it's been. Not that it was ever bad, but having our little boy, it's just sort of completed our family. Everything in my head says to take it. It's the next step to where I want to be, and it will be just 2 years. My wife wants me to take it. She would just bring her and the baby to come stay with me for a week at a time some. I know that sounds fun for her getting to see the Midwest and all. I know over time traveling across country with a baby toddler would get old. Over time, not overtime. And as guys who have stayed away from their kids at times, advice would be helpful. Thanks. This is easy.
Mine's really easy.
You answered the first question I had, which is if you talk to your wife about it. Because if her answer is you got to take it, you got to take it. Look, if you're going to miss 2 years of your child's life, this is the time to miss. He's not. Real quick, I'm not me saying this to be smart ass. Tell me what you remember about being 2.
You want me personally?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, I remember nothing about being 2. That's parent time. Now, are you missing some stuff? Absolutely. Is it going to break your heart at times? Of course.
But you're gonna miss it if you're home and doing another job anyway.
But here's what you can't turn down. Number one, you're making a raise up front. That's not the biggest thing. The biggest thing is that they're basically telling you, do this job for 2 years, and when this guy retires, it's your job. And that job's $500,000 to $600,000.
That's life-changing.
You want to be there for your child? There you go. There you go. This is easy.
Yeah.
And in today's age, here's what you didn't have back at the beginning, right? When I was on the Auburn beat, and we didn't have FaceTime.
No.
Zoom, Skype, any of that.
Hell, we didn't have video you could send.
You got that now. So you can come home, back to the hotel every night, and you can FaceTime, and you're going to get to see him, and you're going to get to talk and get your wife to film. If he takes his first steps and you miss him, she's going to film him. Or she can lie to you when he takes his third and fourth steps and tell you it's his first steps and send them. You're good. That's a little white lie. It'll be all right. You got to do this for your family. No doubt. Because maybe you're going to have another child. And you're right. Your wife can come see you and she can bring the kid and she can stay for as long as she wants to stay. The hotel's paid for. You're on the road. Just take advantage of the opportunity. You're going to be okay. And when you are at home, just maximize the time that you have at home. But this is a no-brainer.
Yeah. So for me, one, take the job. one, your wife's on board too. Two is this: the baby's 9 months old, right?
Yeah, 9 months.
Okay, so you got 4 years, and that was my next thing on this: is what's tying this guy down to wherever he's at? You got 4. There's no school involved. It's your only kid. Your wife doesn't have a job.
Oh, I mean, 2
things. One, I don't know if they have. I don't know how this particular situation works. Do you have a home base out west or whatever? If you had a home base out west, let's call it Midwest. Let's call it Chicago. Is that Midwestish?
Yeah, Chicago's Midwest.
Hell, you won't be 2 years. Go buy an investment property and live in it, and you have an investment property when you come back for the big job. Or if it's a hotel deal where you just, dude, let your wife. There's nothing tying the wife and the kid down to the area that you're located in. Take them with you where you go. If it's that big of a deal, because it's not a money situation, because it's free.
Yeah, you could always move and move back.
But like if this was coaching, we're not even having this was coaching. Everybody's gone because there's nothing tied down. Like for me having to move, the issue became, it wasn't even
I
early.
think the way I'm reading this, though, they want him to, you're based out of where you are. He would go travel to there, and he would be, just put him on the road more.
Then I would travel with your wife, and kid can travel with you. And if it caught whatever money you're out of pocket, you're making more money anyway.
Well, and they've already told him that, hey, look, if this doesn't work, if you just hate it, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
In other words, they value you. This is the thing. When they're this flexible with you, they value you. You're going to get that gig. This is.
And if you turn it down, and I'm with you on the long-term growth, right? I mean,
they might not value you as much if you turn them down.
Yeah, I'm team take the job, but even like in my situation in coaching, the issue wasn't when they were kids. We just picked up and freaking moved. The issue became when, hell, it wasn't even in like kindergarten, first, second grade. The issue would be like now. Like if I picked up and left right now, that'd be a problem because they have established friend groups. Yeah. They're at that age. The older you get in coaching, the harder it is for with kids in general.
But in this, they're dangling you a carrot. Like I didn't
go, man.
When I was that age, I didn't have a carrot dangled. It was just do it, and I would just be like, "Why don't you just move me to Auburn? Wouldn't this make more sense for me to live in Auburn?"
Yeah, that's the other thing. Coaching, you really don't have a choice either. I mean, because
they're offering you a really shiny carrot, you should do it.
There's 100 jobs, and if you don't have the one's not working, you got to go get the one that does.
Again, life advice brought to you by Cole Walters State Farm Insurance. ColeWaltersInsurance.com, 706-525-7850. We'll be back on Thursday. We're going to do a Thursday 5 o'clock Central Time show. We're going to make it a combo show. It'll be a hand-raised guys along with McCready and Siskey. So it'll be brought to you by not only Rain Total Body Fuel, but also by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. We'll combine it. We'll watch some of the tournament together. We'll take your calls, those kinds of things. On the big show again Thursday, late afternoon, probably around 5 o'clock. So until then, for Tyler, I'm Neil. Thanks again to the people at Rain Total Body Fuel. Rain Body Fuel on Instagram to learn more. See you Thursday.